Good afternoon. Today is Monday, May the 4th, 2020, and I'll be providing you the English language summary for the daily press briefing that we had today at the Center for COVID Situation Administration, or CCSA. First of all, the spokesperson recapped about the general principles for businesses, as mentioned already yesterday. And also this morning, we also had a panel from the Social Security Office just now, including the presence of the Secretary General and the Chief Inspector of the Social Security Office and the Director of the Contribution Bureau, Samnak Ngeun Somthop. So basically, the Social Security Office mentioned about the approval of the unemployment assistance due to unforeseen events for Thai nationals for approximately 958,000 qualified Thai individuals, including applicants which already have been sent their financial assistance during the 20th of April to the 2nd of May. That number is around 455,000. And a number of applicants are still being processed by the office. However, some applicants would need their employers to ascertain the employee status of these applicants. And there were some questions about the different amounts of assistance received. And this is very important, of course, because we are facing unprecedented, unforeseen events at the moment. So there were some questions about that. So for those for receiving equal pay and equal amount of time worked, finally in the end the total amount received would be the same. The difference, the discrepancy might be due to the difference in time of submission and the time of approval. Also, they also reassured about the fund, the 2 trillion baht fund, that is still safe. And around 82% will be invested in sovereign funds. The reduction of the contribution payment from those qualified from 5% to 4% will actually allow everyone to have extra money to use during this period. And around a large amount of money will be integrated into the economy by the government as well. The spokesperson also mentioned about the case of Yala province, which we highlighted to you yesterday, wherein the contact tracing method is being performed of up to 300 persons. And therefore, there still needs to be the verification of this, as found from the active case finding. In the news yesterday, it was reported around 40 persons were positive, but initially, the actual active case finding and tests have shown that they are actually negative. However, the results will be sent to the central laboratories that have more specialization, because there is a need to review the methodology and all aspects of the tracing, and it should be certified by the Medical Science Center. So therefore, in Yala province, the case in Yala province, which is actually from persons arriving from religious activities in Malaysia, as mentioned yesterday, and those who they have come in contact with were at risk. So therefore, the government is performing proactive contact tracing to certify whether the tests are negative or positive. Based on the results yesterday, as mentioned, the 40 infections are still negative, but we'll be confirming the results in the central laboratory. So therefore, they are not included yet in the list of cases, confirmed cases today. So moving on to the statistics of cases that we have for today. We have a total number of 18 new confirmed cases. All these 18 confirmed cases are in quarantine under the control, persons under the control of the Immigration Bureau and in quarantine in Sadao district in Songkhla province. And this makes the total number of cumulative cases in Thailand 2,987, as you can see on the slide on screen. And a big portion of that, 2,740, have recovered or been discharged. And glad to report to you again today that there are no deaths. As for observations, we have now a total number of 32 provinces which do not have any new infection in the past 28 days. And in addition, 9 provinces still remain without any infections at all. So that makes around 43 provinces in total that have not had any cases in the past 28 days. So that's 34 plus 9. And 43 is actually more than half of the number of provinces in Thailand, 77 provinces in Thailand, including Bangkok. So moving on to the Thai national repatriation, the flights that we recap to you every day. For today, we have information about the scheduled repatriation flights from Thai nationals abroad. You see a slide on screen today from the Maldives and from Hong Kong SAR. And also for tomorrow, May the 5th, we have incoming from France and from India, all of whom would be placed into the state quarantine system. So for the 1 month period, around the 4th of April to the 4th of May, we have repatriated around 4,109 persons from 25 countries and territories already. So moving on, we have some images, as usual, of the activities of the Thai embassies and consulates assisting Thai nationals. Today we have some images of the activities of the embassy in Moscow, in the Russian Federation, with the ambassador there and the embassy facilitating the return and giving out care packages for the return of around 70 Thai nationals. The images start from the registration up until the setting off at the airport. And this flight was, of course, arrived in Thailand a few days ago. So for the information that we have, which we have outlined to you, we'd just like to remind you once again about the measures that were in place, because we are actually on the second day only of the relaxation of the measures, certain measures in terms of the opening up of certain businesses, as well as the opening up of recreational areas, parks, and everything, and of course about the sales of liquor. So we hope that the images that we see in the press will not be prolonged, be continued, because we see images about people, of course, rushing and lining up to buy alcohol and liquor in various establishments. So every day we choose some question and answer, some inquiries which are received from social media, as well as received to the addressed to the spokesperson during the Thai language portion. So one question was about the 14-day quarantine for domestic flights arriving in Bangkok. So there's actually currently no mandatory quarantine for persons flying domestic flights into Bangkok. So those who are obligated to enter the state quarantine are those who were repatriated from abroad only. And people who wish to travel to other provinces, as you know now, some domestic flights have resumed. So those who wish to travel to other provinces must pass through the health surveillance checkpoints according to each province. And the checkpoints will have set in place procedures that are in line with the CCSA's guidelines. So please plan ahead for your domestic travel. Of course, we mentioned yesterday that it is discouraged unless very absolutely necessary. So please also check with the local authorities for specific details before traveling, as well as avoid unnecessary travel. There was also a question about the possibility of retightening various control measures because we have been in the second day only of easing up of some measures. So based on verifiable facts and statistics, we will be reviewing the effects of the relaxation, the easing up of control measures on a daily basis and in terms of interval every 14 days, which makes up the first stage as mentioned yesterday and the other days as well. So we'd like to stress the need for your continued cooperation from all sides, including from business operators who must follow the guidelines, as well as the consumers who must protect yourself, as well as those persons working in offices, including government offices as well. They have to oversee all the measures that are put in place, that they must be enforced. So just to recap again on the important issue that I mentioned in the beginning about Yala province. So in principle, the situation in Yala will be updating to you that in due course, but of course it has to be verified because the initial test results have indicated a negative result, but we have to verify this with the central laboratory in Bangkok, which has more capacity in terms of the diagnosis, the protocol. So just to recap, to end, in principle, we would say that we would want to optimize the resources that we have, because there are high-risk groups which would have a big impact on the situation in Thailand. And of course, the active case finding, as we mentioned often, has shown to be very effective in helping to flatten the curve. So tomorrow we hope to have the firm numbers to report to you about the case in Yala province. But nonetheless, of course, please remain cautious. We might have a bit of the easing up of measures since yesterday, but we have to remain cautious on all fronts. And we hope that the numbers will not be increasing in the days to come. So this is all I have to you for today, for the English language summary of the press briefing at the CCSA. Please continue to stay safe, and please continue to abide by the measures, and wish you all the best in health. Thank you very much, and good afternoon. สวัสดีครับ